Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Club Pro Chatter, season number 4, episode number 8. Greg Snow coming to you live from the Olivia Golf Club, along with Scott McDonald, who's coming to you live from his lake home up in Alexandria, I believe. Is that correct, Scotty mate?
The home office, we like to call it.
Are you downstairs? I knew you were doing some remodeling, and it looks like some nice sheetrock behind you.
The basement is not finished yet. We're getting there.
Do I need to talk to Tony Janu about getting out there and getting stuff done?
The painting is all done. We're waiting on flooring, carpet and flooring.
And he doesn't do that?
Nope. He just does painting.
All right. Well, it's good to see that's coming along with all the things that you had going on. Scott, episode 8. I know this wasn't as frequent as we really wanted to. Life got in the way. I mean, you totally screwed up even today. But we got to this moment finally. So talk us through season number 4, Scott, and some of the highlights of your life and some of those things before we get into apologies.
Well, I'm surprised that we're at 8, given how infrequent it's been the last couple of months. I think the last time we talked was right after the section championship was end of August. Here we are, end of October. September was a busy month. But I think the whole year, season 4 this year, you can attest as an operator, golf's never been busier, maybe in your career. Numbers are up across the board, revenue and golf rounds. I think it's been a great year. You know, last year there was all the uncertainty with COVID. This year, it really didn't stop us at all. We didn't have any of the calls where 2 riders in a cart and everything. So this year was a roaring success for golf. I think it's just a great time for the sport. The best time in the sport since Tiger came on the scene.
So better for golf, Scott, Tiger Woods or global pandemic?
Global pandemic, I think.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
I think it's crazy that you're comparing, when you think about it, one person to a global issue, right? So I think this is going to sustain. A lot of people thought that last year was just a flash in the pan, especially up here. We got blessed with an early spring, a great fall, and very little rain. So the golf courses were in great shape. We had no weather days. It was just maybe a 1 in 100 year for weather with all of those things. So just great for us and just the country. I think golf is roaring.
I know we attributed at the Olivia Golf Club to our success to the fact that we didn't have any rainouts. We had no days, we had no tournaments that it was like, we'll have to find a makeup date, because on those tournaments, it's hard to play with an 1.5 inch rain. Nobody wants to be out there. They paid $75 or 100 or whatever it was. And it's like, you just got to find another date, and then you lose all the revenue of that date. Plus you lose for us a Saturday down the road. And that just didn't happen this year. We didn't have to reschedule anything. So, okay, that's fair on your part that I should not compare Tiger to a global pandemic. But of course, everybody knows I was always a proponent that golf doesn't need Tiger Woods. We're lucky to have him. And I think we're going to have him again. I think, I think Phil's put a little energy into the senior tour. And I think if Tiger will embrace it, he'll put some energy into that too. And now your portfolio is spread out because look at the Ryder Cup, Scott. I think the Ryder Cup was after our last one, but there was plenty of fans, plenty of corporate support. People are ready to embrace these people. As much as we hate Bryson, some of us, he was good for the event. He's good for USA Golf. Being a little bit of a villain is always a good thing. And I think that's partly why those who love Tiger Woods cheered for him and those who didn't like him kind of treat him as a villain. And so I think Bryson might be that next guy. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think he's doing some great things across different platforms in golf, especially on the forefront for the business that I'm in now with the speed trainer. He participated in the World Long Drive and made it to, I think, the round of 8. So, which is pretty impressive. He went right from the Ryder Cup to the World Long Drive event. And as well as I do, swinging as hard as possible like we talk about the scramble swing. That doesn't really help us when it comes to golf. So he goes to the Ryder Cup, has to get his scramble swing ready, and makes it to the final 8 of some of the longest drivers in the world. That has helped the golf, especially on that side. So I think, as you mentioned with Phil on the senior circuit and the Champions Tour, spreading it out like that is great. And you got the Cordas and ladies golf is super strong right now. So I think you've got, and Tiger, if he comes back, it's going to give it a little shot in the arm too. So I think golf just as a whole, we're doing a lot better job marketing these other avenues of golf, not just the PGA Tour.
Yeah, and throw Top Golf in there too, because that's also getting the casual golfer that we maybe didn't capture in the past. So, Scott, you're going to carry us during the apology segment here. You had a chance to listen back, and I'm sure you got a couple for me. And so I'd appreciate if you'd throw it in. I'm willing to apologize for some of my mistakes. I just don't always know when they are. I did get talked to by a volleyball referee for yelling too loudly during one of the matches. So that's not really to our crowd here, but I recognize that I made a mistake there and was a little too vocal about something. And so I make mistakes, and I'm hoping you're going to point them out for me.
Yeah, I think I will reiterate your apology from last portion where sorry that it's taken so long. We didn't even get to do Ryder Cup picks. September was so busy. That's one of our favorite parts of the show.
I would have picked the Europeans.
Yeah, I was leaning that way as well. Just going in, I'm like, there's so much turmoil with the personalities.
Yes.
They've got the old guard. And here we would have been completely wrong. We couldn't have been further from what actually happened. So
we need to apologize to the American team for doubting them, because I told many people here, I believe Europe is a team. I believe USA is a group of individuals.
Yeah,
and
I would totally agree. We doubted. Let's apologize to them and hats off to them. My other apology is we did run a little long last time, so we'll try to shorten it up. But I thought there was a lot of great discussion. I listened to it and I was laughing out loud at the episode. Yeah, just
because we said some stupid things.
Well, no, just thinking about you at Wilderness and going back there and coming full circle and that whole story and just it's just to think about. There's a lot of it was good, a great discussion, and I mean a lot to talk about. So we'll just do a better job of trying to get these on a regular basis, and let's jump right into it because we got a lot to cover again. 2 months is a lot.
Yeah, you're right. So let's bring Kaylee in here. She's going to update us on our state of the section. Kaylee, end of the year, are you able, before you get into the state of section, are you able to exhale a little bit here? Are you able to kind of decompress, or are you guys jumping into 2022?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely excited about some ideas that we have for 2022, but it was a great season. I mean, we accomplished all of our tournaments. I think they went really well all season in the tournament atmosphere and in the junior golf space. So it was a really good summer for sure.
Well, good. And now, again, we think of you guys often. We worry about burnout at times, and we worry about the fact that we hope you can sustain that energy, because it's a lot into 5 months. When you think about it from event, I know there's more in the planning, but the actual doing is kind of a 5 month, give or take, deal. So we appreciate what you guys do, if you aren't told that already. And Scott, can I speak for you on that or no?
Yes, no, absolutely. Okay. I think unlike you, I was in person at the fall meeting, and I think I told Kaylee and Tone and the entire staff, thank you, about 15 times. So I'll say it again. I think it's been a great year. It's been stressful. It's been busy. All of that is really, really good, but it takes a toll. And so I hope you guys, Tone's already been to Vegas. I hope Kaylee's got her vacation scheduled sometime soon.
Yeah, something, hopefully.
Oh, she doesn't. That's okay. You know what you need to do, Kaylee? Go to the airport and just say,
just pick a flight.
Pick me something.
Yeah, I should soon, but
try that.
I mean, I have had fun days. Yeah.
Throw it at us, Kaylee. What do you got?
So we just recently announced our award winners for the 2021 season, and we're so excited to announce who these individuals are who won special awards. So just to start with the Assistant Professional of the Year, our winner is Thad Bloberger.
So can we, Greg and I are going to interject after each award winner and give our thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Thad's been at Midland for a long time, right, Greg?
Oh, forever. I just chatted with him when we had our tournament out there, and he works down in Texas too, and that guy deserves it. He's been a loyal. We see sometimes of that where they're just very loyal to the club they're at, but Thad has been very loyal to Midland and to our president Ryan Hanford, and he deserves this. It's very, very deserving.
Yeah,
Cool.
they make a great team.
Awesome. Our Steve Weidman Award winner is Hollis Kavner.
So Hollis, obviously Minnesota golf, kind of the Minnesota golf ambassador on the big stage with the Champions Tour for years, and now the 3M. So very deserving there.
Yeah, I don't know Hollis on a personal level, but what is Scotty? What's the background of the Weidman again? What's kind of the crux?
Steve Weidman was a PGA professional, and it's all about going above and beyond and growing the game. My good friend Kirk Reiners, who runs the Heritage Links Pro-Am, was the Steve Weidman Award winner last year. And I mean, what Kirk's done with junior golf in Lakeville and what Hollis has done for golf in Minnesota, they're on two different scales, but both well deserving of that award.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. In terms of our facility promoters in the resort area, Tim Johnson is the winner for this year.
Johnson.
All right. Timmy. I love that guy. Good for him. I did not even know. I didn't hear all these because I was in another meeting for the county on Monday, and it's a long story on that one. I won't get to it, but Tim's been at Craigan's this is his second stint at Craigan's. Because he went to Grandview for a little bit and back. But Tim is always so accommodating to my AMs when we come up there for the Pro-Am. They've done a great job, and now they got that Canadian Tour event coming up and brand new golf course too, Scotty. So your thoughts on Timmy, our buddy?
Yeah, they got a lot going on at Craigan's with the renovation, the new holes, the CRMC. Promotion is going to be at the forefront for Craigan's right now and for years to come. So well deserving of Tim.
I got one more thing to add here about Tim that I don't think many people know. Tim has done an amazing job with the women at Craigan's. They have possibly the best women's league in that area and a following. And I know his wife is a big proponent of this as well. And she does a great job with that. But Craigan's, whatever Tim did, he figured it out with those ladies because right, Kaylee? I don't know this, but it can't go on because I've always said that's the next boom in golf is when the women embrace this even further. There's a whole nother market for ladies golf out there that could be coming. So Tim's done a great job with that.
Agreed. In terms of private golf courses, Chris Weinhold won this year.
Chris Weinhold's at the TPCG, just became GM. He followed Alan Call as the GM. Obviously, TPC's had a ton going on with the tour event and the changes and everything. And Chris has been there a long time too, so well deserving there.
Yeah, I just chatted with Chris probably a month and a half ago. We went out there and played. And Chris.
Oh, thanks for the invite.
No, actually, it was Chris Sauer who invited me. You weren't even on the radar.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It was me and Todd Burgett, the guy that I do the Todd and Friends show. And we played against Chris Sauer and one of his members. And Chris does an unbelievable job there and well-deserved for him.
So a drum roll for our facility promoter of public golf courses, our very own Mr. Greg Snow.
Scotty, my first ever award. I feel honored, and I thank you guys and the nominating committee. And when Phil gave me the call, there's a backstory to this too, as you know, Scotty, because I told you. But I want to just thank everybody and my club. Oh my goodness, the freedom and the flexibility that they give me. This is quite the honor, and I'm looking forward to December.
It's very well deserved. You never won it at Rutgers?
No, I didn't. You and I think, chatted about that. Yeah, I would have maybe been one of the few guys to win in resort and in public. And again, we're kind of a semi-private here. We do invite the public, and I said even to the nominating committee, I'm kind of in a weird, little area. So I think public is probably where I fit. But that's what I love about my club, is that we've become very inclusive, and I think that's a good testament to golf. That we used to have a very snobbish mentality here, and I think that's changed a lot. And I think many of my members would agree that, yeah, we kind of used to be more of a, we don't want you here. And now it's a, hey, it's nice when we have others here. So yeah, I thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you.
congratulations.
So would you say now that we're tied on the awards because I've got one facility promoter award and
what category did you get it in?
Public.
You were public, because you're similar at Waska.
Minnewaska is not really public; it's semi-private, the same as you.
Yeah.
But this is the quote, and I'm going to stick to it. Is a lot of people would not know where Olivia Golf Club is if it wasn't for you. So if that doesn't say what promotion is, I don't know what does.
Thank you, Scotty. Appreciate it. I won't be tooting my own horn here. I really do appreciate it.
Yep.
Awesome. So next on our list with the Patriot Award goes to Ross Leary.
So Ross was an assistant of mine, and he moved back up north where he's got roots, and he's done a lot to grow the game on the junior side, the having a Hope chapter. And so, I mean, I was obviously on this, some of these discussions, and yeah, Ross, very well deserved of what he's doing up north.
Scott, what course is Ross at again?
Yeah, it's I think it's like Hibbing.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're heading up that way. Maybe we could stop on the way up.
There
we
you
got to go through Hibbing to get to the wilderness?
No, it's Roseau. I think he's at Roseau.
Oh, he's on the other side of the state.
Yes.
Well, you'll look that up while we're talking. While Kaylee gives us the next one, but congratulations to Ross.
Yes. Next on the list, the Bill Strasbar Award goes to Steve Fessler.
Boy, Steve has been I'm starting, Scotty. Shut your mouth. Steve has been a mentor. I'm sorry. Steve's been kind of a mentor of mine. He was the one who first talked to me about getting on the board for the Minnesota PGA. And obviously, I don't know many people. I'm sure our audience knows what Steve has gone through. Steve gave me the Cliff Notes version with his eye, and it just started with topping a golf ball. And now he only has one eye, and the things that he's gone through. But Fess has been the biggest promoter that I've been a part of for PGA professionals, amongst our PGA professionals, if that makes sense. Just for me in my world, Steve has promoted the PGA guy more than anybody. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, I mean, the Strasbar Awards, one of the biggest awards that anybody in the industry can get. And it just personally displays outstanding integrity, character, and leadership through a commitment to mentoring and making significant impacts on the career of PGA professionals.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So
awesome.
I mean, it just your story right there tells you exactly why Steve is deserving of this award. And he's obviously, I mean, I think he was vice president on the board when I got on. I think Peter Curvers was our president when I got on. So obviously being in the boardroom with Steve, getting to know Steve through tournament golf, just a great individual and one of the nicest people in the business. I don't know if I've ever seen Steve upset.
He didn't even have a bad day when I was talking about what he's gone through. I mean, it's just amazing that guy doesn't have any dark clouds hanging over him. If he does, he keeps it away from us.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And it's, I mean, he's well deserved of this award. And I think it's a great time that he is a recipient of it.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So the next award for professional development this year goes to Chandler Withington.
Chandler.
Scotty, go for it. Chandler.
Yeah. So Chandler sat by me at the fall meeting. Obviously, Chandler is making a little bit of a career change. Stepped down at Hazeltine National, and he has not. That has not been. He's trying to help us PGA professionals get the old work-life balance. That's we heard that a lot on Monday. But Chandler on professional development, he's been the head of our education committee for the last 2 years while being on our board of directors, gotten some great educational opportunities. I think really and we've talked about it, you've been in the boardroom forever, Greg, about getting good education. I think he's done a great job and kind of raised the bar for whoever's next behind him on that education committee.
Yeah, I think Chandler really wanted this role and he embraced it. And I call him your pros pro. He's kind of he's a youngish guy with the old school professional way to handle things, opposite of you and me, Scotty, and way opposite of me. You know, I'm kind of, what's the word we use for me?
Recluse.
I'm a recluse. That's right. Chandler would not go in that category as a recluse, would he? But the thing I appreciate about Chandler is he knows in the boardroom, he thinks a lot differently in a good way. You know, he brings up points that it's like, ooh, didn't see it that way. And so from a professional development and education, I think he's done a lot in those categories, and we're going to miss him for sure. You know, he came to us 7 years ago.
Oh, I think even more.
Is it really?
Yeah. Well, think about the Ryder Cup was in 2016. That was 5 years ago. He's been there. I bet you he's been there 10 years.
Do you think I try to timeline everything of when I came to Olivia, which was 2011, and I thought it was after I came here, but maybe not. Well, anyways, good luck to Chandler down the road. Very deserving. And I know he's always been supportive of you guys, Kaylee, and the staff. And, you know, obviously with what he's gone through with this job change, I don't think it was, boy, I'm going to walk on eggshells now because I was going to make fun of you, Scotty, for walking on eggshells, but I don't think it was totally planned, if that's the right way to say it. I think he would still be a golf professional today if it was totally up to him. Did I say that right, Scotty? Can you clean that up for me a little bit?
I think that he's made the same decision similar to what I did. And
yeah,
at the end of the day, Chandler started in 2013. Tone Polito with the fat check.
8 years. Nice work.
So I think that Chandler just reprioritized his time and wanted to put family first. And I appreciate that. He's got kids, you know, and that's the reason I made the decision I did. I don't know that he'll be a golf or a head professional again, but I wouldn't rule out that he'll stay in golf in some capacity.
Well, Chandler, if you do this right, you can end up with a lake home in Alexandria. If you just do it right. Kaylee, the shoreline this guy has is priceless.
Sounds like we need to do a podcast up there.
Hey, site visits are always welcome.
Yes, he has a nice deck. It would be a lot of fun.
There we go. Awesome.
All right, who else we got, Kaylee?
Youth development winner is Charlie Levis.
Charlie!
Yep. So Charlie's at Rush Creek, where they have a massive junior golf program. So massive that probably 6-7 years ago, they built a whole par 3 9 holes to accommodate all of it, everything they've got going on. So Charlie heads that up. Yeah, it's just a great program and a testament to him. Good
for Charlie. We don't get to see him in a lot of events, but when we do, everybody knows him and everybody says hi to him. And it's, I think he had ties to the Brainerd area somehow, some way. And that's how I got to know him when I was up there. So congratulations, Charlie. That's awesome. And Rush Creek does a great job. You're right. Even with Aaron Jacobson and him and what they do for development of all golf and not just junior golf is great. So awesome.
Mm-hmm. Brent Snyder is this year's Player Development Award winner.
Yeah,
your buddy. That's your boy, Scotty.
A good friend of mine, and yeah, player development, just what he's done with his academy is pretty crazy. We're very fortunate. Brent's one of a number of great instructors in the section, but his body of work, you could compare it with pretty much anybody across the US. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
So is this the new way of saying our teaching pro or teacher of the year, or we still have one of those too?
We do still have
Okay.
one of those. We'll get there.
We'll get to that. Okay. I couldn't remember how that all goes. So again, I know that they kind of overlap and are kind of together, but this player development thing has been more about retention. You know, a lot of us are in lessons. We do lessons and then they go play. I'm used to be one of those guys, you know, especially at a resort, go play. But player development is how do we retain that player? And I applauds to Brent. I know he works hard over there. He's still at Troy Byrne and does a lot of things with this. So that's awesome. So we're going to get to the teacher. I'm sorry to jump ahead.
It's okay. We're going to jump to assistant player of the year. And this year, the award winner is Austin Eckleton.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Austin, Scotty, but I know he's a good player.
Yeah, so Austin was in Ohio prior to this. I'm not sure if it's Toledo or Cincinnati, but yeah, a great assistant, works for Dan Simpson, a former Bill Strasbar Award winner right there. Dan, great guy to work under. But Austin is a really good player. I talked with him a little bit when I was in the shop this summer at Minneapolis. And I think we'll talk about this in a little bit, but he's going to the Assistants National Championship where I think he was top 25 last year. So great player. Way to come in first year, never seeing any of these golf courses and win the Assistant Player of the Year.
Definitely. For our senior player of the year is Don Barry.
No, you don't say.
Who is that?
The guy just isn't missing a beat. I'm guessing that they say this about Bernhard Longer. He's kind of our Bernhard Longer, except for Bernhard wasn't that great on the regular tour, and Don was awesome on our regular tour. So it's even past that. I mean, how many times is he Senior Player of the Year, Scotty? You know this off the top of your head.
Well, Don, I believe, turns 60 this year.
No way.
So the 10 years he's been eligible to win Senior Player of the Year, he's won it 9 times.
What year did he not? Let's talk about that.
2018, Dale Jones.
Okay.
Who Don beat in the Senior Match Play Championship.
Right. Yep. Wow. Congratulations, Don, a frequent listener and watcher of our show. He was a guest at one time. We're going to have him on again now that he's turned the big 6-0. So when's he, you know, he's kind of like our Tom Brady. When's the drop off, Scotty?
You know, I'm
71?
never going to count Don. I'm never going to count Don out. He says there's a chance he might be stepping back a little bit with tournament golf, but I know the type of competitor he is. I know that isn't going to happen.
Right. All right. Don't worry about the phone behind. Yeah, it's fine.
Hey, by the way, Tone Polito, great fact checking today. Don Barry turns 60 on February 6th.
Coming up?
Yes.
Still 59. He's still young. As I get older, I'm 46, turning 47 in about 4 weeks here. 60 just doesn't look that old anymore.
No.
Kaylee, especially, you have no idea. Kaylee, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Kaylee's like 21.
I know your dad, I think, is older than me, but I don't know by how much. How old's your dad? Is he 52?
Yeah, something like that. So
that's
just
right.
A couple of years.
Yeah, it's not a lot. So anyways, all right, who else we got? We got a ladies player of the year?
Yep, women's player of the year this year is Angie Oss.
Yes, I think she's won it. What have we had this for 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah, it's been pretty new.
But Angie's won it how many times, Scotty?
This is her 5th time winning it.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had it at least 5 years, but congratulations.
Yeah, 2014 was the first year. So yeah, hats off to Angie. Yes, she's a great player.
She continues to play at a high level, and when she gets it going, she gets it going. And so congratulations to her. No, we must have more because I said somebody who teaching pro,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I don't
we
want to
can-
jump ahead, Kaylee.
No, it's okay. We can go to teacher of the year, and this year's winner is Al Strang.
Oh, that's right. I saw that.
Mhm.
That was a who's his pro? Scotty, help me.
Henry Orr.
Henry Orm put a post out about Al, Golden Valley Country Club, and yes, I should have known all this. I got to pay attention better.
Wait a minute. Hank has social media.
No, I think it was on Golden Valley,
Golden Valley put
Okay.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Henry
Yeah.
Orm, I don't think's on social media.
but it looked like
It was a
He wrote
statement
it.
from him.
yeah. There
Okay.
you go.
Yeah.
So they're-
Al's a phenomenal teacher. He's been at Golden Valley for as long. Remember, one of my good friends, Jesse Bull, who's a great amateur, is a member at Golden Valley, takes lessons from Al, has for years. Jesse's just one of a few one players that have the same story about Al. So, Al deserves it big time.
I don't know how good of a teacher Al is, but he's a good dude, and he's one of the good guys in our section, in our association. So congratulations, Al.
Yeah. So our men's player of the year this year is Jeff Sorensen.
Player of the year,
So-
Scotty Sorney.
Yeah.
How many times
so,
for him?
This got to be 6. I'll let you know.
Fact check that. I appreciate it. Tone will probably get it before you, but him and Don. are
7.
still-
This is 7.
7.
So he's only 10 behind Don, who's got 17, but Don's got the 9 seniors. So technically Don's got 26.
And I think Sorney is a couple years younger than me, 43, 44.
Yeah, he's in between you and I.
Okay, so he's got a chance. He's gonna have to not age, like some of us are, in order to catch Don. It's gonna be not you.
It's gonna
Scotty.
be-
No. You haven't aged a day. You're still fitter than a drum, and I think that's also back to Don's point. Don still runs. He does all the things that you're supposed to do that some of us don't do.
Yes.
I don't know where Jeff falls in that because I see Jeff stretching all the time. I don't think he's stretching to run though. Sorney could correct me on that.
No, he's got the bands. He's got the
That's
foam
right.
roller. He does all the right things. And, he goes down to Florida in the winters and sharpens his game a lot in the winter months.
Yeah, he plays in a bunch of events. If you don't follow him on, he's got a Facebook page. He plays in a lot of things down there, and that keeps him sharp. And so, congratulations to Sorney, number 7. Maybe his goal is 10. We should ask him sometime. Have we interviewed Jeff yet?
We've had Jeff on. Remember, we had him at Redwood.
Golf Club.
And that
That's
day,
right.
was that the day that he ended up setting the course record?
62.
Yeah.
That's right. And he was on 59 watch, Kaylee, at Redwood Golf Club. Yeah. He needed to hole out on his last hole, so he went for it and sailed it over the green and made bogey. So
It still set the course record.
yeah, he still set the course record. And the guys, it was a blind shot and they were like, ooh, that looks good. One of those, I'm so
Fun.
hot that this is ridiculous. But then they were like, couldn't find it. And it was over the green, when they did find it. So
Yeah.
yeah, congratulations to Jeff.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
Our-
Is that it?
One more, our golf professional of the year.
Yeah, the big one. Don't
The
forget about
big
this
one goes to Peter Curvers.
PK section president when I came in, I believe. So he was at Crow River at that time, and now he's
At Dwan.
Dwan in the cities. That's right. And good man right there. He was came from California out to Dakota Ridge, right down just south of me here. Then went from there to Crow, and he's a big section guy, and he loves governance. And I went to a couple national meetings with him, and so that's my PK stuff. What do you got, Scott?
Wasn't there a great story of you playing catch with PK in Indianapolis?
Yes, Indianapolis. So not me. Fessler. This is another good Fessler story. Fessler somehow kept getting him to run routes. I mean, and he's in loafers. No, he's not a jeans guy. So he
No,
must have been in
Peter's.
dress
I've
pants.
seen Peter wear jeans once.
Yeah, and he had a button-up shirt. And Fessler kept saying, "Hey, run a skinny post here or run a quick out." and Curvers thought he was in high school. This was in Lucas
Oil. Yeah.
So he's running all these routes, and we're sitting there just laughing because he kept doing it over and over and over. That's our golf professional of the year, baby, right there.
Yep. The Bill Strasbar Award winner throwing darts to our PGA professional of the year.
And there's some fun stuff that happens on those. Are you going, Scotty, to the one coming up here? Are you going to the
I'm
national?
not going to Milwaukee. I'm not. Julie's got
it's too far?
It's too far. No, it's Julie's work schedule does not allow. I'm going to tune in for some of the virtual stuff that I can. Okay. I just went to my first district meeting a couple of weeks ago down in Iowa. So it was a lot to do both right away. So
well, that's our highest honor that we give out. And Peter Curvers, congratulations and well-deserved. And I hope you have a lot of family there as well that can celebrate on that awards night. So are you coming to that, Scotty? I would like you to be there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're going to be recognized, I'll be there. I keep trying to plug, the podcast duo could host the awards banquet.
We will someday. Maybe it's not appropriate.
I think maybe you're too much of a recluse and I'm too much of a vagabond.
No, you're a more controlled recluse. Wouldn't you agree with that, Kaylee?
Yeah, I mean, you are talking to hopefully somebody who has some influence over here over the awards banquet. So you're giving me some ideas.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, Chandler Withington hosted it in the past. And you already said that he's a little bit on a higher level than you and I. So they
for sure is.
They'll probably get somebody, like a.
So Kaylee, so it's just what kind of tone you want. If you want it super professional, we aren't your guys. Not it.
If you want them like hearing the stories about Fessler and Curvers throwing darts at Indianapolis, we got it.
Also, just so you guys know, I'm working on 2 impressions of golf swings. I'm working on Chris Borgen and Jeff Sorensen. And I should have those dialed up in the next year and a half, I would think. So I do a pretty good Arnold Palmer. I do a good Jason Duffner, but I wanted to do some local guys with some impressions. And I actually am working on a Scott McDonald too, but he's pretty easy.
Yeah, because it doesn't get very long. It's just like you take it here and go.
But you got this little fadeaway move that's nobody else does it. So that's what I pick out people that nobody else does stuff. And like
Jordan had a nice fadeaway move.
Yeah, but that was basketball, but you do it in golf and you're a really good player with it. That's the crazy thing. So, okay. Enough.
Let's bring in Tone.
Yeah. Kaylee, got anything else for us?
That's it for today.
All right, let's bring in our tournament director, Tone Polito. Tone, obviously end of the year. I just mentioned it to Kaylee about decompress, and we're hoping that you're getting a little downtime. You were just in Vegas?
I was a couple weeks ago.
Give us the highs and the lows. You can throw in dollar amounts if you want. But I'd like to keep the other stuff off the podcast if possible. So did you spend some time gaming a little bit? Because Scotty and I are going in a couple weeks.
It's been a little time gaming. I mean, got to do some.
Where was your place that you stayed, and where was home for you?
We were at the Caesars Resort. So
classic.
High end for us.
I love Caesars. Perfect location. Yeah.
Can I
kind
ask
of right there?
We?
What was that?
Who can I ask who we is?
Me and a couple of my friends.
Nice. Also, you got some peer pressure to do some things that you shouldn't do, which is gamble.
Yes. Like I said, you guys can go find my money if you want to bring it back.
Oh, you had a rough go, huh?
That place. Yeah, there's just just go there to have fun. There's expect to win. There's a reason
why they have fountain shooting things and
they got to afford everything. There's a reason why the lights are on 24/7. There's a reason.
So you went with a budget, right, Tone? And then that was it, correct?
Correct. Did not go to the ATM. Just kept it.
Take notes, because I know that sometimes you get a little crazy.
Well, no, there's always a budget.
Scott,
there's always a budget. Family. There's a reason I don't go to casinos that often or Vegas. I enjoy it. How long were you there, Tone?
There for 4 nights, which is too long.
That's too long.
3 nights is perfect. 4
Yeah.
days, 3 nights is the perfect amount. And we're going for 4 nights, right, Greg?
I do have the extra night, but I'm also bringing my wife, which none of you do. I've told many people this, Tone. I won't go to Vegas without Mrs. Snow. And it's, I had the one year I went, I had zero fun without her. And so none of these guys bring their wives because they don't view their marriages the same way. You know,
Julie's not a big gambler, and I've been to Vegas with
that's
Julie
the
before.
reason she should go. You should go to the shows. You should walk the strip, plenty of restaurants to try some things. It doesn't
Watch
have to all
Fat
be about
Elvis.
Yes, you don't have to lose all your money. Tone, talk to us about some highlights of the season for you. Was there anything that stood out as like, man, it's cool to be here for this moment? You know, a section championship or golf champions. I mean, again, we had some history made at golf champions, I think. So, you know, just give us some of your highlights.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's, you know, when you reflect on it, every season, there's always a lot of highlights. I mean, this year, I was glad to see that we added some new things, you know, to the schedule. Obviously, we started at the kind of our major championship season with the Twin Cities Open, kind of starting that event and continuing on for further years. We had our women's match play championship. We recognized our low woman professional at the section championship, and then obviously the CRMC points. So kind of when you look at those additions, you know, those are big highlights to me. And I mean, in addition to kind of just the actual events, all of our championships seem to always go down to the last few holes. There was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of, you know, good golf to watch. You know, our tape mark, you know, Angus Flanagan winning that in his first pro debut.
That was not close.
That one wasn't a close one, but, you know, in his debut, keeping that U of M tradition alive. The state open, obviously having a 3-way playoff and kind of having that, you know, atmosphere at Chaska right off of 18. The women's open came down to the last few holes and came down to 18 to see who would determine it between Betsy Kelly and Catherine Van Arigen. Section championship, we talked about that in the last podcast, how that just kept going back and forth. And, you know, Derek still had a chance in 18 to push a playoff. And then Greg, as you mentioned, I think a great way to end the major championship season was with Isabella McCauley winning at Golf Champions, sticking in there for 3 days. You know, Trey Fessler had a run, you know, the first few holes at the final round, but she just stayed consistent and kept keeping it in play and making the putts when needed. And, you know, she pulled out the victory, and that was history in the making right there.
Scott, any of those stand out to you as well?
Yeah, I mean, I played in a lot of them. Obviously, it was a great year. It was I thought that, yeah, the state open with just the influx of young, talented golfers and how many great high school and college kids were in the mix, and how these kids just ripped up Chaska Town Course. You know, one of the old guys, I'd call him an old guy because he's my age, Ben Grieve, made it in the playoff. But for the most part, it was young college and high school kids. So golf is in great hands from that perspective. And yeah, just Isabella winning the golf champions is unprecedented. First time, just a great player. I mean, she was up there in the mix for the junior PGA championship this year. So, and she almost made the cut at the U.S. Women's Open. I think she missed it by 1. Yeah. And Catherine and her, it's unbelievable how good these kids are at such a young age. We're lucky to have Isabella going to the U of M, which is pretty awesome. And then, I mean, the biggest highlight to me was going into that last weekend with golf champions and the Luther Tour Championship. Our Player of the Year race was wide open. Don Barry had a chance because he won the match play. He put himself right in the mix at 59 years old. Unbelievable. Jeff Sorensen was right there. You know, Brent Snyder, I think Jesse Nelson, I think Derek Stendhal, I think Eric Childs. Everybody realistically had a chance. And that's the first time in probably, 3, 5, 6 years where it's come down to the last event. And hats off to Jeffy. I I'll be the first to say it, and I said it before the section champion or after the section championship. He didn't have a great year, and then he won the section championship.
You did.
Was low PGA Pro at the Golf Champions, I believe, and then got enough points at the Luther Tour Championship to win his 7th Player of the Year. So remarkable finish, and we're not even mentioning Thomas Campbell, who was ineligible to win Player of the Year because he was an associate for 3/4 of the summer.
Right.
He would have accumulated enough points to be Player of the Year, which look out for him. Obviously, he didn't win Assistance Player of the Year or PGA Player of the Year, but I'm here to tell you he's going to win some.
I would agree with that. So I want to give you guys just one tidbit too. If I'm a big promoter of women's golf, I've said a lot on here. I pump it up here at the golf club. My daughters are golfers. They're section, we've won our section many years, we're state champions. But there's a story about Isabella that I think everybody should hear about if you need a reason to cheer for a gal. She was interviewed by a local radio or a local podcast or somebody. I'm not exactly sure who it was, but they asked her to interview. And she was like, yeah, perfect. So she went on, did the interview. Day or two later, the guy who interviewed her, and I can't remember who it was, got a handwritten letter from her saying, thank you for interviewing me. And I saw it on Twitter and I'm like, no. And he goes, that's never happened for this high school girl to think of that. And that is not a parent saying, hey, you should write them a letter. That isn't. So this girl, if you can't cheer for her moving forward, something's wrong with you, because she's going to be somebody that we can all cheer for. Hopefully she makes it on the LPGA. And whenever we click on that TV, we know her, she's one of ours. And that's always fun. So that's kind of my thoughts about what happened at the end of the year. And I asked Tone a ton of questions of, hey, where's she hitting it near Trey, or this and that. And it's like, oh, she was sometimes behind, because Trey's a bomber. She was behind. She just played great. And so I'm sure that pops into people's mind as well. She had these up tees. No, it didn't matter. Trey was bombing it by her, and she just won the event. So anyways, those are my 2 cents about kind of her and the 2021 year. And Tone, move us forward here. Obviously, now you flip the calendar a little bit. We're kind of on a fiscal deal. Seems like we move into November here, and all of a sudden you got to start working on 2022. Give us some highlights that you've already got on the books, and then maybe give us something where you need some help. I've always said, us PGA pros, we got to be willing to help you out, and maybe we got to do some recruiting and get some people to give up their golf course to us for a day or two.
Yeah, no, I mean, 2022, I've been working on that schedule since even, last year in 2020. So We're pretty far along with most of our events. We're still waiting on a few more confirmations for our fall events, like our fall scramble and facility team. But I do update the website regularly on our future events tab to kind of go through that. I mean, a couple of highlights, one we booked earlier this year, almost, I think it was confirmed in like the spring, was Town and Country Club for the match play championship. We got the senior opens returning back to Keller, state opens at Bunker, the women's open at Rush Creek. Obviously, we've talked about on the podcast before, the Wilderness at Fortune Bay is hosting the section championship. Assistance championship is going to be at Edina. And then the senior PGA professional championship was just confirmed at Stillwater Country Club. So we're getting them all locked in, ready to go. There are a couple more confirmations to go, but it should be hopefully within the next few weeks. All those major championships are done and uploaded online.
Tone, do we have a site for the Twin Cities Open yet?
There is a site that I can't discuss. It's still kind of in the process, but it seems really promising, and I'm excited.
We're looking at similar dates.
It'll be a similar dates, yeah, kind of in that early middle May timeline. But if it gets everything pushed through and processed, I'm excited about where it's going to be.
And I might have missed it. Do you have both or all three Luthers set?
So yeah, well, not 100%, but Luther 1 is confirmed at Olympic Hills. That was just confirmed yesterday. I do have 2 conversations ongoing for Luther 2 and 3. That sound promising as well. I'm told that I'll know in another week or so. So hopefully that goes through.
Well, that's awesome. I'm sorry if I sounded like you weren't working on this before. I know it's always, I mean, I'm sure you're working on 2023 and maybe even 2024
We
with
got
some people right now.
some events out to 26 right now.
Really?
It's not many. It's
Who's
one.
booked in 2026,
I can't say yet, but
Dang
it's
it!
State
the-
Open.
we're
I
the
know
state open.
Oak Ridge is booked in 23,
Yep.
right? For state open or section championship? I can't remember.
State open 23.
Okay.
We got state open 24 at Rush, and then 25 and 26. I'm working on getting those confirmed.
That's awesome. Scotty, thoughts?
No, I think hats off to Tone. I've been a big advocate for getting these calendars booked out as soon as we can, for as far in advance as possible. Because as you know, as an operator, Greg, if I come to you in May and say, hey, I want to host an event in June,
Right.
you've got so many dates. But if I ask you 2 years out, I got the pick of the litter. So that's where and we're trying to do the same thing. I'm on the junior golf committee, the same thing. And I think last thing that was pressed at the section fall meeting that needs to be reiterated is, if you can host, please. We're not asking you to host every year. We're asking you to host an event either with our section events or junior golf events once every 3 or 4 years. And if everybody does their rounds, it's just going to help us grow our events, instead of Tone having to find a small window at a facility. So I think the hats off to you, Tone, for doing that. I think the slate looks great. I'm interested for that Twin Cities Open. That sounds a little exciting. Cup matches, although I probably won't even make the cup matches this year. Greg Snow's probably got a better chance because the head-to-head.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I'm working on that with Doug and all that, moving forward with that. So
okay.
All right. Well,
yeah.
thank you, Tone. Appreciate all your work and everything you did. And if you need another trip out to Vegas, let Scotty and I know. Maybe we can work on that together.
yeah,
Maybe
no,
we work on that Vegas Pro-Am.
Oh, Tone,
we've
you got
had some discuss. Kaylee and I have had some discussion about doing something like that.
I think with the right, Greg and I have the blueprint. If you want it, we can give it to you.
Well, we got the team all lined up right here. So let's start talking.
Okay. All right. We can call it the Club Pro Chatter Pro-Am.
There we go.
This is the start.
That's right. We're going to, off air. We're going to discuss this.
If I could
Behind
say
closed doors.
one other thing, just kind of about a highlight. One, I want to thank all the facilities who did host this year. Our majors and our state open qualifiers, or our PATs. It is a lot that we have to book, obviously, for our junior events as well. So thank you to all of them, and then a big shout out to the team that I work with here at the section, and obviously Kaylee, our interns Drew, Colin, and Megan for this year. All our other staff, Carla, Catherine, John, and JD, and Alan Cole as well, and all our volunteers. The highlight is just to work with all them every summer, and looking forward to future years and continuing to increase our team and continuing to basically serve the members. So appreciate that.
Thanks, Stone. Well said. And we appreciate all you do for us. Scotty, let's move on to Senior Professional Championship. Took place down in Port St. Lucie, I believe.
Yes, last weekend.
Yep. So Scotty, run us through some of the highlights of what happened down there. Obviously,
we had 6 individuals there. Let's see if I can remember them all. Don Berry.
I have them written down, so let's see if you can get them.
Okay, Don Berry.
Correct.
Eric Childs.
Correct.
Bill Israelson.
That's right.
Mike Barge.
Correct.
Tom Vizina.
Yeah.
And
come on.
Jeff Kringen.
There you go. Nailed it. Spring Hill. I was going to give you a little hint, but then that would have done it up. So
maybe that's where the Twin Cities Open is. It's Spring Hill.
Brady Madsen, one of my, good player for Florida Gulf Coast. He caddies out there. So maybe, every time we've had an event at Spring Hill, I've had to miss it. So I've never played there.
I shot my stroke average at Spring Hill, 86, one round.
Scotty, run us through the results, what happened. I believe Chile had a good showing, but talk to us about what happened down there at the old SPC.
Yeah, Port St. Lucie, it was three gentlemen made the cut, 36-hole cut. Izzy on the number, Don Barry, and Eric Childs. Izzy did not make the 54-hole cut. I think, what do they call that on the tour? The modified cut?
Yep, that's exactly right.
So Izzy did not make the modified cut. Don and Chile did. Don had to move up top 35, make it to nationals. And Don just, he missed it, I think by 2 shots.
Was he 43rd?
He was tied for 46th. and I mean, he was at 1 over, still a solid showing by him. Obviously, with his standards, we know he's going to be upset. He loves qualifying for that senior PGA. And then Chile, this is his first year. He turned 50 this year, turned 50, I think, in September, was not eligible to win our senior section championship because he could play in it as a qualifier, but was not eligible to win it because he was not 50 at the time.
Interesting. Say
So
that
he
again.
would
Say that in English this time.
Listen to this. It is a qualifier for the national, which they just played. So you can try and qualify as long as you're 50 by the date of the first round of the senior PGA. So our section senior championship was in August. Chile's birthday, I think, is in September. So he's eligible to qualify, but he would have been in a playoff with Tom Vizina and Don Barry for the section senior, but he couldn't because he was 49.
Was he eligible to win prize money then? Or no?
I think, I don't know. I'm not for certain.
We're going to ask him about that. But again, I'm sure I'm guessing he was grateful just to have that opportunity. What a
prize money, yes. No points from Tone Polito.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Prize money, yes. Points, no. Okay. So at 49, I'm a November birthday, so we're never going to have to worry about that for me.
I'm
Scotty,
September.
This is going to happen for you. What year? Give me the year.
I just turned 40 this year, so not till 2031. Yep.
This is going to happen. Tone, write it down. Scotty's going to be one of those weird ones. I'm going to be done. My senior career will pretty much be over in 10 years.
Oh, stop it.
I got a good 5-year run, I think.
It's unbelievable. Like this year, there were some individuals that played in that section senior championship. I go, how is Derek Stendhal 50?
Yeah.
How is Barrett Bowe 50?
Right.
How is Eric Toffner 50?
Barrett Bowe was in all the assistant stuff with me. You know, it's like some of these guys are old, Scott. I mean, we're just getting there, dude. Time just goes.
But Chile, let's get back to Chile. First ever, makes it through to the senior PGA, tied for 16th, 4 under. Great. I mean, he had 1 round over par. His third round, he shot 74. Other than that, it was 70, 69, 70. So just a great showing.
And did they play both golf courses?
Yes, they did. They played Ryder Wanamaker the first day, and then they played Wanamaker the last 2 days.
That's right.
And Chile is kind of the opposite of the rule. He's getting better with age. I'd say in the last 10 years, he's gotten better each year. Would you not agree?
No, 100%. And because distance was never a thing for him, he'll be the first to tell you that. So he's just cleaned up a lot of his ball striking, and guy makes putts, and all of a sudden he's at every event. It's even 1 under, 4 under, a bad round for him's 2 over.
Yes.
And that's, I mean, he'll tell you too about that that's a bad round. So it's, that's awesome for him. And again, I suppose when most people turn 50, they feel like, hey, I got a window here where I should be better than some of these 62, 63, those guys. And we see it on the senior lot. And so I think Chile could make some runs here at Don's 8. 8 senior players of the year.
9.
All right. So we got one last thing to talk about, and that's what's coming up, which is the Assistants Championship. Scotty, you got the dates on that?
The Assistants Championship, Tone can fill us in. It's usually, it might be next week or 2 weeks. Yeah, a pretty strong contingent. The Assistants Championship was at Windsong, my old stomping grounds this year. And let's see, Ryan Gallagher is going. He won it at Windsong. Jack Heemans, Julian Ramirez, and the Assistant Player of the Year, Austin Eccleton, is also going. A couple of guys opted out. I think Worley's wife is having a baby, so he can't be gone. Brady Swedberg's going to be hanging Christmas lights.
Are you sure it's not Jimenez? I thought we always.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Heemans. Scott is right. Look at that.
What's Scott right about?
Scott is right.
It's Jimenez.
It's Heemans.
I love having Tone send us in the chat. Yeah, you got it. Okay. Good for you, Scotty. I'm terrible with pronunciations, but I do football and I just make them up, man. And I think it's just kind of, we
you're
just
like, so they November 11th through the 14th.
Okay.
Greg,
so that's
down at the PGA Golf Club.
Just before that, you're in Vegas with Janu.
Yeah, well, and you're there too.
Yeah, I got a different version of it than you, but you're going to be there all 3 days for the what do we call it? It's not a pro scramble. It's
just the Vegas Scramble.
Yeah, it's just something so your first year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine too. I'm only going for 2 days. Scotty's going for all 3. Scott, anything else that you need to clean up before we sign off for our end of October podcast?
No, we'll see everybody at the awards dinner celebrating your well-deserved award. Congratulations.
Thank you, buddy.
It's a very high honor, and I think there's not a better person for it. So.
Well, I appreciate that, and again, I don't want to dive too much into that. Again, it'll be a fun night, and we'll enjoy that, and hopefully maybe we can have a podcast after our Vegas trip. We can compare notes with Tone as to some of the poor decisions that people make. I'm looking at you, baby. Well,
and we can digest the Assistants National Championship.
Correct.
And let's try to get this once a month here.
Yeah, we're going to try to add some content over the winter. We always try to do the golf show, and Tone will help us out with that. We try to do that one on site because we have Score North that helps us a little bit with that. So thank you to them. So anyways, let's sign off for today on our Club Pro Chatter Season 4, Episode 8. Thanks to Tone. Thanks to Kaylee. Thanks to you, Scotty. I appreciate your commitment. And I was the last one on today. Nobody, usually it's you, Scotty. So it was me today. I had some things going on. We're talking about a new tee box here at the Olivia Golf Club. So
there you go.
I'm excited about that because this is needed to happen since I've moved here, which was 10 years ago. But I'm Greg Snow. Thank you all for listening. Hope you all have a great day.